second.
Uh-oh. So let me tell you this. First of all, hey, what's up, Facebook? Thanks for joining us today on the Brunch Bunch. It is Monday. You know what? Up in here, it's Monday. So we're going to level you up. It's always our aim to send you back better than you can. Hopefully we'll do our job today. We certainly intend to. You know, we got the fabulous Gina Lamar in the studio. Did you just do Diana Ross?
Yeah, I did. We're both born March 26th.
15 seconds.
Of course. Of course.
3, 2, 1.
And if you are feeling all right this Monday, I want you to clap your hands, y'all. I certainly am feeling good. It's a new week, y'all. And I want to give you blessings on this Monday. I want you to start this week off right. Exhale fear and inhale faith. Y'all, it's your girl Tamara Fair on the air, and I'm proudly posted in the studio with the Brunch Bunch. What's up, everybody? Hey, Gina Lamar.
Hey, Tamara Fair. So happy to be here with
You
you.
know what? I'm so happy to be here with you. And
It's
you're
the
looking
first
fabulous.
Monday.
It's the first Monday of August, right?
It's the first Monday. Can you believe that?
I
Of
know.
August.
I remember when there were first Friday parties. What do you do for first Monday?
Yeah, I know, right? You come right here to the brunch
And
bunch.
make money.
You got it. It's fixed.
Y'all
Money,
don't go
money.
nowhere. We got way more to share right here on Inspiration 1390. It's the Brunch Bunch.
Be fabulous.
So you went way back, baby. Them first.
I know, right?
Be social.
So we used to do Monday night mingle, right?
Oh, really?
Adult conversations for years, right? That's where the page, the Monday night mingle came from. And we did it first Monday. They were like, "How you gonna take it from Fridays to Mondays?" I said, "Because we getting old. We get in after work and be home by 8 o'clock,
Right.
9 o'clock."
Here you go.
Order Queez today.
Oh, this
Go
is
to
mine?
bequeeze.com
I
and
need to
get
just
your
figure
favorite
it out.
fragrance today. That's BEQUEESE.com.
After
Bequeeze.com.
Mingling Moment,
Hey, it's your
the
main
song
man,
on the
Action
list
Jackson,
is
and let me
Anchor.
put you on to where I get my style right.
I
GQ
got it.
Gentlemen,
Thank you,
located
love.
at 7149 South State Street, right here in Chicago.
So
Whether
what's
it's a
up,
church,
Instagram?
GQ
For all of you who had a fantastic weekend, I want to say I am definitely happy for you. I had a fantastic weekend. Did you have a fantastic weekend?
I really had a great weekend.
Well, you know what? My mom went to the hospital.
Oh,
No, listen. This is because, you know, a lot of times when we hear news like that, we're like, oh, no. But what happened was, let me tell you how the Lord is so good to me. What happened was my brother went out of town for his birthday. Happy birthday, Mark. It's my brother. He should have been my twin because I absolutely connect with him in a different kind of way.
Oh, yeah.
But so he went out of town on Friday, and he's my mom's caretaker. So I went to go pick her up, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, no, honey, you don't need to go to my house. You need to go to the hospital. Turns out she had pneumonia.
Oh, no.
And you know what? A lot of people...
Walking pneumonia.
It wasn't walking.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was
She
running.
was bad. Yeah.
this was running
She
pneumonia.
didn't even recognize it.
No, but I noticed that, you know, she was just deteriorating, like her cognitive skills were declining, and she was slow, and she's not a slow person. Like
She's
she
off
had
her
a...
square.
Yeah, it's just different. So, you know, I said that it wasn't a bad situation because the Lord said, don't listen to her. Don't listen to your brother.
Of course, you're like my mother.
Go.
Like that.
Exactly. Go and do what I'm telling you to do. And I did. And you know what? It's something to be said about obedience, right? Because even though it may not be what you want, it's definitely what you need. And in the end, you might look back. You typically do, not might. You typically do look back and say, you know what? I'm glad I understood the assignment. I'm glad I listened.
Yes.
So anyway, so she's been in the hospital since Friday.
A couple days.
Yeah. So one thing that I learned, and I want to share this with you guys, immediate care is not emergency care.
No, not at all.
Right? I didn't know that. So immediate care only addresses wounds and superficial things like that. And I'm not saying the wounds are superficial.
No. I got you.
But they don't do
Immediate
anything
care
invasive.
and urgent care are not
30
emergency care.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we left immediate care. We went right to the ER. And so they gave her the drip that she needed. So she's on a robust series of antibiotics, and things are looking up, right? So
That's
she's
because
starting.
God sent your brother away for his
Baby.
birthday. Because
15
listening to
seconds.
your brother and your mother, she's still been at home trying to hang in.
Maybe not. She might have gone home because, you know.
He wasn't ready for it. That's why he sent you.
That's exactly right.
I'm not going to be bothered with her right now.
No. So I'm saying we are singing the victory because that is, it is what it is, but it could have been something different. And so sometimes when you going through your mess,
Yes.
you get the
But
message.
of course, it's Gina Lamar. I'm dedicating this moment to nephew number 18, Jabari Lamar. Today is his birthday, his second birthday. You're small in size, but mighty in heart. The world is brighter because you're in it. As you share this birth date with the first Black president, Barack Obama, may you both remember, great leaders are born, but legends are built. Here's to another year of building legacy with grace and courage. This mingling moment has been brought to you by Nephew's Case Management.
But I thought it was recorded. That's why I kept talking.
Okay. And look, I did too. And she said, I looked at you, I said it, I was like, wait, am I doing it? No, it's okay. It's okay.
That's why I thought you were in here recording.
Yes, I did. I recorded it. And she still just had to do it live.
But we decided to do the one that we recorded for today live. So, because I didn't have time because I had to go live with another host earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So everything else is
So
recorded
anyway,
and done.
so happy birthday, Barack Obama.
And Jabari Lamar.
And Jabari Lamar.
That's right.
Wait a minute, you said you had 17 nephews?
I have 18. He's number 18.
18 nephews?
He's number 18.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 5 siblings.
Oh, okay.
So my sisters and brothers all had boys, no
Okay.
girls. The boys start having boys. So the first girl born since me just graduated from Spelman.
Okay.
It took 36 years for another girl to be born.
So you got,
And you wonder why I say,
I know that's
right.
right. Y'all like the 12 tribes of Jacob.
Yes, yes, we have boys on boys. Now we have girls and stuff. I have nine great nieces.
Yeah.
But if I ever say nieces, I'm still talking about either somebody else's kid or somebody.
Yeah. Oh,
All
that's
of my
awesome,
sisters
though.
and brothers had boys.
So you will have a long lineage in your family because you have boys.
Yes,
to carry
yes,
on the name.
yes. We have
Awesome.
boys and boys and boys.
We got boys on board. What's up, buddy? Hey, Tanya. What's up, Patrick? John Etchen. Thank you for joining, y'all. Truly excited. Today is Money Monday. And you know what? This is the day that we dedicate. Now, every day we dedicate to resources. But this is the day we exclusively dedicate to leveling you up, particularly in the real estate area and in your mental health. You know what? Because your financial health is no good if your mental health is off kilter. So we definitely want to address all of those agencies, I'll call them, so that you can enjoy your life. Because you know what the Lord said? You are here to live life and life abundantly. He didn't give you a spirit of lack or depression or anything that is insufficient, unimaginable. He gave you a promise of abundance. And so here is where we give you the resources to a community that usually doesn't get the resources until it's crumbled or
That bad for me.
all washed up, so that you can take advantage of them and take you and your family and your network to the next level. So we got L&S Development coming in on the bottom of the hour. And of course, we have Gina Lamar at the top of the hour. It's already undergoing, and we getting it cracking up in here on this Money Monday. So I have an exclusive topic for you guys. The Wi-Fi.
We love an exclusive.
What's going on? Are you doing? Oh, okay. I thought that I had lost you because young Adam over here is doing something to
I'm doing Wi-Fi too.
He's doing something techie, and it just put this block on. But you know what? The Lord said, "Thou shalt not be blocked today." So anyway, my exclusive topic for you today is, what do you do? What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Now, I'm not talking about wipe the sleep from your eyes, but it could be that too. But what is the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Some people grab their phones. That's the first thing they do. Some people turn on the TV. Some people go into prayer immediately. That's the first thing they do. I want to know from you, and I want you to put it in the comments. What's the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Now, I'm going to tell you why I asked that. Don't give me a generic answer, and one you think I want to hear. I want you to tell me exactly what your knee-jerk thing is that you do routinely when you wake up. And the reason I say that is because what you do in the morning actually sets the tone for what you are prioritizing, if you didn't but know it. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
It reads, my calendar reads, rise, pray, slay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every
So
morning,
you
5:55.
rise, then you pray.
I rise, I wake up, I pray.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Sometimes it happens when I get to the bathroom. because I wake up going to the bathroom, right? But I'd rise.
Okay, so
I'd
you
pray,
wake up and you go
and
to
I
the
slay.
bathroom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you pray
I pray and then I slay the day.
and you slay the day.
That's my goal
All
every
right.
day. That's
So
my
that's
goal.
Gina Lamont. What do you do when you wake up? First thing you do when you wake up. And it's not when you wake up, it's the first thing you do when you wake up.
Yes.
Honestly, it's not good, but
Reach for your phone. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Only you can change that. Because
One
as I
minute.
aforementioned, the first thing you do is what you prioritize.
Yeah,
I
I was
try
just
to
gonna say
sit
that's
silent.
true. That's true. What'd you say?
I try
Hey,
to sit
Richmond,
in silence.
California,
Oh,
Mr.
Zoe sits in
Murphy.
silence. Okay, I love it.
You do what?
She sits in silence for a
You
minute.
sit in silence.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I
I play
need to do
music
that too.
throughout the night, so when I wake up, I listen to music.
Oh my goodness, you listen to music all while you're sleeping?
It helps me sleep.
Oh,
great.
that's
Nice.
great. People who
Honestly,
believe
Zoe,
that, I'm
the-
telling you,
the
studies have
richest
shown your
part about
brain
Yeah.
does not allow you to
Best
rest
sleep I've had.
because it's still
Man,
trying to
I'm telling
calculate.
you.
Can you go to sleep without it?
Honestly, not. She showed me how to do this on the phone, and it
20
plays like
seconds.
I can't
It'll
do
go
it.
off. Yeah, that way you can let it play until it goes off. Hey sister, Kathy, what up, cousin?
Music or what she tells you?
Like she showed me, like on your phone.
It's with Apple. Like they have
go,
their own
like-
like music on there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you go here.
We all
you
have
press
that
this
music.
and then it just
5
plays like
seconds,
sleep
Tim.
music.
Okay.
That's amazing.
We're in the raw with Tamara Fair on the Brunch Bunch.
It's raw.
So some of the times, I mean, not some of the time, but some of the things that we report on the Brunch Bunch are it's the first time and the only time that you get the news. So we want to make sure that we keep you updated. And if it's anything that we ever report, we always want to give you an update. So guess what, guys? CPS. Now, you know, I'm one for always telling you what
Okay.
acronyms stand for. Chicago Public Schools must present a plan to close its deficit within 9 days. And so what are the options? Well, you know, historically, CPS has had a whopping deficit. And a lot of that has been due to the pension fund because when teachers retire, they get what some of them get up to upwards of 80% of what their salary was when they were working. And of course, their insurance, and they got the best insurance. Of course, my mom is living proof of that. So Chicago Public Schools must deliver a plan by August the 13th outlining how it intends to close this $569 million budget shortfall, with the Chicago Board of Education required to adopt a balanced budget by August the 28th. My question is, so what happens if it doesn't? We're going to find out. So the deficit grew from the prior projections and stems largely from the expiration of the federal COVID relief funding, rising expenses for transportation, building maintenance, pensions, as we aforementioned, and special education, a structural gap which is not easy to fix. Well, the interim CEO and Superintendent Mingling King has led a series of community meetings in July, hearing from nearly 700 stakeholders, but cautioned that the coming decisions will be difficult and painful. I'll say, just imagine if you had a $569,000 budget shortfall. I said thousand on purpose. Now I want to bring you to what they have, 569 million, and it's been going on for a long time. It's just been kicking the can down the road, but now the road might be ending. So
The road meets the rubber.
What a rubber meets the road.
right.
Yes. Well, some cuts have already been made. So over 1,450 school-based jobs, including teachers and special education assistants, have been eliminated, and layoffs continue across central office and support roles. So still only a fraction of the gap has been closed with all of that we just talked about. So the range of available tools is limited and controversial. CPS may, number one, borrow funds. Board President Sean Hardin endorses borrowing as the only option that avoids immediate classroom disruption. And though CPS carries $9.3 billion in long-term debt and paid $817 million in debt service last year, raising concerns that new borrowing simply shifts strain into future operational budgets, right? So you just, again, kicking the can down the road.
Absolutely.
So they can also implement furloughs or further staffing reductions, while more layoffs or mandatory furloughs could cut costs. Such steps risk degrading educational quality and disproportionately impacting special services. Number three, they could rely on new revenue. CPS is pushing for increased state funding, possibly via a special legislation session, and demanding the use of the tax incremental financing, that's the TIF, for those of you all who are not familiar with that acronym, surplus funds. Now, I've been a proponent of using TIF dollars for a very long time.
Yes.
Because a lot of those TIF dollars just sit dormant and they're not utilized for what they were earmarked for in the first place, and they're just sitting there, and then they roll over. So you'll look in some TIF areas, and they'll have millions of dollars just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's just like if you had, and a lot of people do a financial budget for their home, right? And they'll put things like on their line item: education, clothing, travel, such and such. Then of course your utilities, your mortgage or rent, whichever. And you look at those budgets, and let's say you haven't been entertained that month, right? And your entertainment budget is robust. However, your light bill is due and it's depleted because you had an increase in utilities.
There you go. Like being personal about it. Am I going to entertain myself or pay my light bill?
Cool. Exactly.
There you
what
go
are you going to do? You're just going to not leave that
I'm going
dormant.
to the party.
Yeah, she going to the party.
I know.
And then when you come home, you are in the dark.
In the dark, right. So you know what, something else you said that I wanted you to touch on when you said furlough. Make sure people understand what furlough is, right?
That means deferring or letting people leave on their own recognizance and pushing that budget out of your line item.
So now, I can take these days off.
You can take these days off.
And I won't get paid for
You won't get paid.
But then they said, you said you can take furloughs. So it's like, okay, I can afford to be short a couple of days that next pay period, right? So I'll take furlough. But then the next line you said is, or it can go to mandatory furlough. Now, people don't like mandatory furlough because the CPD does it. They do it sometimes, but it also
CFD does it too.
Yeah, yes, of course, all of them do, right? To keep the budget, right? Take those days. We just need to do it, to balance the budget. So I like the furlough over. It keeps everybody employed
over mandatory. But you know what it also does, because people are really starting to be intentional about their mental health days. And when you're dealing with children, as a person who deals with children all day, like literally when you're dealing with children, especially in the special needs segment of dealing with children, you need those mental health days. So don't look at it as, okay, I'm divesting from my finances, but I'm investing in my mental health, right?
Yes.
So there are other options still yet.
I just want to say something's coming in from one of the local school council members. TIF dollars have been used for wealthy communities when they were marked for underdevelopment communities.
That's absolutely right. That's what I said, that they are not actually being utilized for what they were intentionally earmarked for in the first place. So they can debt restructuring and operational efficiencies. The district also seeks further reductions in central office budgets, hiring freezes, grant leverages, vacancy savings, and restructuring current debt to free marginal resources. But those gains are unlikely to fully cover the deficit. I wouldn't think that anything would fully cover the deficit,
kind of deficit,
but I would think a blend of activities would go toward actually eliminating.
So I can't do this without asking the question, isn't this what got the last guy out when he refused to let the mayor borrow or let them borrow money for the pension?
Well, this will happen with this guy too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So like we have to, so what, I'm torn on the borrowing thing, right? Because most people borrow to get things done, right? And when we come in, when you're talking property, and when LMS gets here, you all tell us to borrow against our homes or borrow against things so that you have, right? But tell me why borrowing this time just isn't going to make sense.
Well, borrowing this time may or may not make sense, but it may make better sense if you got new money revenue sources coming in.
Yes.
If you don't have that component, then borrowing needs to be on your last list typically, because how are you going to service that debt?
Yes. Also, I don't think LNS is telling you to borrow when you have $500,000 in debt.
This is 569 million.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Saying.
Yeah,
in debt, they're not going to tell you to take that loan.
And you're right, because if you have something to leverage it. So I clearly wasn't saying they would give us bad advice. I'm just simply saying most people borrow to get things done. So I need it for the believers, for the community to understand why we don't borrow. And another thing, when you're saying 500 billion and million, people that number's just too big for them. They don't make
way too big.
They don't make that make sense, right?
That's why I said 1,000,
That's why it's important to make it connect to the people and stuff,
Exactly.
because they're like borrowing.
Because people really are concerned about global issues, but guess what? They're linearly concerned about their own issues. How is this going to impact my children if I have children in CPS? How is this going to
Yes.
impact my paycheck if I'm working for CPS either directly or ancillarily? How is it going to impact me? And that's what we're going to have to break down. So even with aggressive implementation of all of these strategies, the shortfall remains significant, and CPS leaders warn that without new and long-term revenue, the district risks deeper structural instability. A failure to close the gap may force larger class sizes, as if 32 kids were not enough in a classroom.
Yeah.
Cutbacks in services.
Of course, someone said stop the wasteful spending.
Stop the wasteful. Now, let me tell you something. IllinoisPolicy.com or .gov, can't remember it, but they give it to you in the raw, as is titled this section.
And show you where.
They tell you about this top-heavy admin budget that can actually be leaned out, and you can get a lot of that money back into where it was earmarked for the children, for the services, for the teachers. And just think, we're on the heels of this contract, right? That this past negotiation birthed. And so now what are we going to do to fulfill those contractual obligations?
So 50 kids to one teacher soon?
50 kids to one teacher is warehousing kids. You're not teaching anybody anything. You know what you're teaching? You're teaching how to stand in line, how to sit, stand, and be quiet.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's truly it. And so we're going to be losing there. Now, I love being devil's advocate because people say these kids don't go to school no way, and they don't learn anything anyway. And they use AI for everything. So they'll be okay because they have AI to help them.
Well, the other thing that we can do, and I know no one wants to talk about this, when I looked at how the 20-year projection of the rise in our property taxes, it was 98%, almost 100% in 20 years. Now, 20 years sounds like a long time until you got to pay it. Right. So CPS must decide, issue debt now and hope future support arrives later, deepen cuts or risk undermining school services, or continue pressing state and local partners for revenue. But we're already in a strapped state budget as well. And so this is huge for Mayor Johnson. So I think that now's not the time to be opposed to leadership. Now is the time to rally in support of leadership, because it's going to take all of our efforts, all of our know-how, all of our expertise to get us out of this situation. Now, people will say on the opposite side, well, I didn't help you get into this situation. Okay, granted, maybe you didn't, but now's the time for you to use your expertise to get us out of this situation.
I feel like he's in a lose-lose situation. Anything he decides, I think he's catch flag for.
And that's why I say rather than name Mayor Johnson, let's talk about us as a whole.
That's what I said.
And what this really means for everyone. Someone else said, when people don't have kids in public schools, they think it doesn't affect them. I'm not one of them because I don't have kids in school. I don't have kids, period. But I do recognize that my property taxes are directly connected to the schools in my community.
Well, I see where I don't have kids, and I have really nice schools around where I stay at, and the community is, thriving, a bunch of families, and that's just what it is.
Well, irrespective, and that's a good point that both of you made, but irrespective if you have kids in school or if you don't have kids in school, if you actually look at your tax bill, you're supporting kids in school.
And that's why I said it. I'm okay with that because I recognize that, right? And so then I do think, and I will say this, again, no kids, that you have to keep your kids in your community and make that community school do what it's supposed to. You're paying the taxes on it. You're paying the taxes.
But then I don't agree with paying for, if we do get to 50 kids to one teacher, I don't agree with paying my taxes for that, because that's
not at all
wasting my money at that point.
Oh yeah, because that is definitely a decline in services. The kids will, but I think that there will be some type of resolution that will be amenable for all parties involved. Now, it's not going to be the best resolution because I want to be clear. Mayor Brandon did not create this. And the mayor before him didn't create this. And the mayor before her didn't create this. This has been an ongoing situation that we knew at some point, to use your words, the rubber was going to meet the road and the road was going to end. And so if we are still going to be lauded and respected as the third best CPS, Chicago Public School District in the nation, then we're going to have to collectively come up with some resolutions. But we're going to pray that everybody bring their best selves, their best expertise to this fold, and we get ourselves out of this situation. Otherwise, people will be registering their kids in preschool, and Premier's doors are open, and we are registering.
Yes, yes, yes.
Y'all, it's Inspiration 1390. We got way more to share, so keep it locked.
That was really good. That's a good conversation. Yeah, that was still don't get it. You know, and when
But
they
you know
don't
what? I
connect,
think
it
what we're
doesn't
gonna
connect
do.
to me. It doesn't matter to me. So I think.
So
Not
that's what I was going to say. I
recognized.
think what we're going to do tomorrow is explain to people how this crisis, this problem, is going to affect everyone that is a taxpayer.
Especially if you take the loan.
If you take the loan, I mean, that money got to come from somewhere.
Oh, hey, Steph. I got somebody else. Education is financially secure. Neighborhoods are doing well. It's only in minority neighborhoods schools are not as good. Class size in public school is ridiculous. Yes, that's true, Steph. Thank you.
But the minority schools have the most kids.
Absolutely.
So that's
Always.
why it's got to be an intentional conversation
Yes.
with the people who are actually funding it. And who is that? That's you and I.
But let me just also tell you guys, people don't connect that when I'm paying my money, I have a right to say, all people always want to put their kids in another school. I'm gonna live here and put my kid in school there. No, make that school in your community that you're paying the taxes for have a system and a classroom that is good for your kids.
And I say this all the time, that mirrors select enrollment schools.
Yes.
And why can't I say this to so many politicians? Why can't we make all schools select enrollment schools?
Yes.
Or a select enrollment school quality?
Yes.
Well, I said that to Stacy, and she said, "Well, why would we do that?" I'm like, because every child deserves a quality education, or we need to talk about rebates on our taxes.
Huh. Ooh, yes. Yes. What's up with the hey, Mrs. South Shore 900?
What's up, Jermaine Hill? How
What
are
up,
you?
nephew?
Thank you so much for joining. You know what? This is the week before the Bud Billiken, y'all.
Ooh, yes.
Bud Billiken is Saturday. What's up, Brooke 42? Brooks 42. I am having a wonderful day. You know, we got California in the building. Well, not in the building, not in the actual building.
Yeah, I know.
But in the proverbial building.
Ohio was on deck too.
I don't know how I forget.
My sister is in from Columbus all the time.
Tina, what's up, Tina Hammond? Hey, Letitia. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, we are back.
Oh, the birthday boy waved hello. He sees TT on camera.
Happy birthday, boy. This is nephew
Jabari.
18.
Nephew number 18.
All right,
So
nephew 18.
I said he's named after me. I'm Gina Lamar. Lamar is our middle name, right? I was like, I'm Gina Lamar. He's Jabari Lamar. His sister goes, he's named after my dad. And I go, who's going to tell her he's named after me? And somebody tell her. She's like, no, he's named after my dad. My dad is Dana Lamar. And I go, who's going to tell her that he's named after me 37 years ago? Right.
Okay, can we, they're not here. Can we fade this and we can go directly into
Main Man Action Jackson, and
Thank
let me
you.
put you
That
on
was
to where I
good.
get my style right. GQ Gentleman, located at 7149 South State Street, right here in Chicago. Whether it's for church,
Is this
prom,
on the
weddings, or
on the
galas,
mic?
GQ Gentleman has the
Can you
suit that keeps
text them and
sharp
ask them what their
feeling
ETA
confident.
is?
Need that perfect fit? Call them at 773-966-4383. That's 773-966-4383.
Hey, y'all. So I asked you earlier when I gave you your exclusive topic, what's the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning?
Hey, it's your main man, Action Jackson, and the city of Chicago is offering up to $5
So I don't know
million
if you'll
in
be
grant
here.
funding for businesses,
I think that's week 3 that we talked about the healthy habits for going back to school and talked about creating successful routines for children. Like, that sets the tone of the school year.
Yeah,
I start
morning.
making my bed every single morning.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
really?
yes.
Do you know that there's a whole mindset of people that say, why would I make up my bed? I'm going to come back and get back in it.
Absolutely.
I just think that
But then there's a whole
The Army
major thing of making
Oh,
it
any
That's
military,
www.
they teach that.
TheDreamCenter.com.
Yeah, they do.
Start your whole
Let
day.
us help you secure the bag.
I'm Just saying, it kind of makes sense getting back in it.
What, making your bed?
And I'm gonna leave the room.
I think it's way more
You talking about
inviting.
leaving your bed unmade?
Yes.
No, it's way
So
more
it makes
inviting
sense.
when it's made up, and then you kind of like pull the sheet back, so it's like it's
Cold.
way more inviting. It's way more inviting to.
Well, it also says, it also completes something. It's like when you come
First
into,
task of the day.
let's just say that you go out of town, right? And you leave your room a mess. You go out of town, you
don't
have
wanna
a
come back
great
to
time,
Which
and you come back to work.
Yes.
Yes and no.
Yes.
No,
Especially
you
after
gotta
you've been in a hotel where they make your bed every day. If you let them,
You
I'm
don't
not
have
one who
to
lets them make.
after that.
I don't let them make my bed. But what I can't do, I do. All kidding aside, I can agree with the whole not making my bed that day, right?
Yeah.
I do mostly, but there will be times I don't.
What's going on?
But I cannot come back to a house after vacation to a dirty house.
I have missed planes for making sure that
Baby,
my
that
house
house has got to be in order.
My house got to be in order
Because
when I
my
come back.
mindset.
And my bed cannot be in disarray when I.
Oh,
It's got to be made up. But I'm
Yeah.
like a stickler for all that.
Hey, Manuel.
For new customers. Don't wait until it's too late. Call
It's crazy.
866-447-3344.
So, guys, what is the first thing that you do in the morning? So, some of the personally, I don't even think that I share what I personally do. When I wake up in the morning, I turn on YouTube and I turn on a morning prayer. Start your day with a morning
Where's the
prayer.
action?
Every single day.
What's going on?
Okay.
Hey, believers. It's Adam Williams filling in for Marcella Action Jackson. So what's going on today is the Texas governor threatens to remove Democrats who left the state over a Trump-backed redistricting. In early 2025, a dramatic political confrontation unfolded in Texas as more than 50 state House Democrats fled the state, many to Illinois, with others heading to New York or Boston, seeking to deny the legislator a quorum needed to pass a mid-decade redistricting plan backed by President Trump and Governor Greg Abbott. The GOP proposed maps aim to add 5 new Republican-leaning congressional districts ahead of the 2026 midterm elections, intensifying efforts to preserve their slim majority in the U.S. House. So they're already starting to scramble and figure out how they can keep the control. Governor Abbott responded by threatening to remove the absent Democrats from office, citing a non-binding 2021 legal opinion and implying that these lawmakers may have committed civil and possibly criminal infractions by raising funds to support their absence and avoid fines. Under the chamber's rules, members face daily fines up to $500 for failing to show up. And Texas Supreme Court precedent allows House leadership to compel attendance. Through this has not been enforced in practice, though. Facing these threats, the Democratic caucus issued a defiant rallying cry, "Come and take it," echoing historical Texas defiance. State House Democratic Caucus Chair Jean Wu emphasized the resolve. "We will do whatever it takes," though they acknowledge uncertainty about how long they can maintain this quorum break. Several Democrat governors, notably Illinois J.B. Pritzker, coordinated support, hosting lawmakers on their soil and praising the move as morally necessary. California Governor Gavin Newsom provided similar assistance. Legislative Democrats argued that Republicans prioritized Trump's redistricting agenda over urgent flood relief and for disaster victims, further fueling the standoff over what they call a partisan power grab at the expense of public welfare and electoral fairness. This is hardly unprecedented. Texas Democrats previously used quorum denial in 2003 and 2021 to block controversial legislation. Through such efforts, ultimately delayed but did not prevent passage once the walkouts ended. So,
I don't think that's anything different than what the Republicans would have done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they would have done the exact same thing. If you didn't have a quorum, you couldn't pass the legislation you were trying to pass. And I also think that this administration should not be throwing stones at the glass house and criminal charges that you're talking about bringing up. First of all, you've got the biggest criminal at the highest office with 34 different charges against him. And I'm not advocating or denying. I'm just saying those are the facts.
That's it.
So there should be no talk of criminal charges. In fact, I think you should take that off of applications altogether. Do you have a criminal background? Okay, so what?
Yeah.
Can you do the job? Should be
I
replaced.
thought we banned the box in Illinois.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
across the world, yeah.
But what is come and take it? Is that like get at me? I mean,
Yeah,
what does
come
that
on.
actually mean?
Yeah.
Come and take it.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
they're
So these-
talking about the house. Maybe they're talking about come and take the house.
Come and take it. Like I think it's a challenge. I think like
Yeah.
you're puffing out your chest and you like,
Yes.
That's
like
what
if you
it
can
sounds
just
like.
imagine that imagery, like, come on, get at me.
I just saw the funniest thing about that too. Guy said, "Whoever broke in my house and stole my furniture, when I see you, it's on and popping."
It's on site.
The first response was, "Rent a center, come get me."
Well, there's so much more riding on these midterm elections than rent a center, but
Yes,
but I
yes.
love
Yes.
the analogy. But you know what? These midterm elections, like people are kind of in a quandary about this. But these midterm elections could reshape what has been unshaped, if I can use it, if I can put it that way, over these. And something we said last week, it hasn't even been a year yet.
No.
Like it's so much
No.
unraveling,
Really
undoing, like
Yes.
everything
Yeah.
is un.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
and that's where we always have to remind people, you keep thinking about the presidency, start on your local
Start
level.
on your local levels. So these midterm elections can really impact. Because remember, we're sending people to the federal
Yes.
government
Yes.
at the local level. So I want you to be very vigilant and pay attention to who's running, what their agenda is. Don't stop there though, guys. Go on your local, wherever you can, like for us it's illinois.gov, and you can go and see the voting history of whoever's running.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you can make your own determination. Something you said a little earlier, Gina, was you got to make sure that if you are electing these people, if you are paying taxes to employ these people, that you are holding them accountable so that your neighborhoods, your infrastructure, your school districts, your libraries are looking like you want them to look. I say libraries because we've gotten away from that for a little while. But the libraries are getting more robust in bringing people back into the libraries.
I love that though, right? Because people are recognizing that building is still sitting there.
Yeah.
Lots of them have closed, but certain buildings are still sitting there. And so it does make a difference that they're using different techniques to get the community involved again.
Well, what I like about what the libraries are doing, they're actually hosting financial literacy meetings.
Yes.
And so you want to make sure that you're not voting someone in that is going to take those resources away. You think they've got beautiful speeches, they look good, their hair is all in place. Look at their voting record because
I love the way the city puts that up sometimes when on the news rather, and it lets you see who voted yay or nay. And pay attention. What do you always say? An absent vote is what? A vote.
A vote for the opposition.
It's a vote.
It's a vote.
So when your elected official does not show up or abstains from a vote, pay attention to that, especially if it's something you want.
But there may be a reason, as in what we just discussed, that quorum denial is a tactic that is used.
Absolutely.
But you know what? So if the Supreme Court is allowing all of this and undoing, you got to be very granular about your strategy. So granular is these midterm elections are a granular strategy that you can use in order to change the trajectory of how your federal government looks from a local standpoint.
Well, how can they add new like right-leaning districts and not add any left-leaning either?
Because that's gerrymandering. So they have the ability to do all of that, but you have the ability to reshape it.
Yeah.
And the way that you do that is through those midterms.
You have to keep these conversations going really, Tim, because people don't get that. They're just not understanding that you have a right to say, and I paid attention in my neighborhood when voting. I live on this side of the street. My neighbor lives on that side of the street, and we go to two different places to vote, right? Not because we're just at the line, but they keep switching it. So that I was very upset about and wrote the electoral board and my alderman and state rep about that too. Voting. We went to 3 different places in the last couple of years. And so we need to figure out why that is. Because think about it. I'm able to drive, but someone in the community who walks up there to vote,
that's a no vote.
He or she is that's no vote.
Or it's an absentee ballot vote, which are good. But you know what? Early voting is really something that we encourage people to do. Yeah. Number 1, for the convenience.
I know.
Number 2, for the check and balance and the oversight. And number 3, it's just a better way to do things.
I know.
Right?
I agree. People love it. I'm one of those. Because I'm a day of. raised with my parents going to that. So
Oh, it's an event.
Yes, it's an event for me. And so I'm always one of those who likes to do it. But I totally get it because I did have someone get sick and be hospitalized right before election day.
So
and
they
it's
were
too late for me to get that ballot.
voting. Yeah.
Yes, to get that ballot.
Well, we want to encourage each and every one of you to first locate how you can look up the voting record of the representatives, the elected officials in your
Yes.
state or in your village, whatever it is, because you know we got a lot of rural voters too that came out on this last election, so they're like really feeling it. So we want you to do that, and then intentionally research the people that you are voting for, and then don't stop there. Once they're in office,
See if they're doing what you want.
oversee them. There has to be oversight. Yeah, you might trust them, but trust and verify. And you can
Oh.
definitely verify the fact that we're going to keep these resources coming right here on the Brunch Bunch.
At 12:40, they said.
It's
12:47.
So what I am
so
thinking,
2 more minutes.
right? Well, we are thinking. I like the way we're saying it, but I just want to make people tell me who's who.
What do you mean?
My state rep happens to live on my block.
Oh,
Every
you know
time
what? I
there's
was
a
going to
shooting-
say
Every
that
time there's
too.
a shooting, the neighbors go, "Did you call them?" So you got to know who does what.
Who does what is
If you
very
know
important because most people
does
don't.
what, right? And you're thinking because you have an elected official on the block that they're supposed to call the police or stop the crime, right? Of course, that has right. So that's your older person that you're talking about. With the
That's
crime,
in
and I'm not
Chicago.
throwing that person.
That's in Chicago. That's in the city.
Yeah.
But in the suburbs, that's your trustee.
Yes. You got to know which is which. Yeah.
The trustee is everything.
Yeah.
So
But I was just curious to say, but that's the first line. Well, first line is what? The
police.
police. But people kill me not wanting to call and then literally call because I am.
I'm not a police caller either.
I'm the one lady on the block who will. Nope. I want everything documented so that when I defend myself, I will document it.
Yeah, but see, sometimes that documentation works against you. The person that called, like I've seen it so many times where people have called the police and they're the ones that get locked up.
Yeah.
And so what that has done is that has made people shy against calling the police.
Of course, that's a tactic.
Yeah.
Again, that's a tactic. So of course I wouldn't call the police if I've got warrants. Wouldn't call the police if I'm holding a pistol that's not registered, right? But I've also watched situations where because we don't believe that and I don't believe all the time that the police are the best thing for the Black community at all, right? So I'm very skeptical about calling the police on young Black men. I will approach them first, but what I recognize is my male neighbor cannot, because they go toe to toe with him. But if I say, coming from a corner house kitchen, but you know what I mean, do whatever and stuff. They halfway listen. So yeah, we
Are they even close to being?
Are they even what?
in the elevator?
No, we're going to talk about this. This is extremely important.
and but and the other part of that is too.
1 minute.
We have to figure out how to include reminding the police you're here to serve. I called you for a reason, right?
Talking about the police is a whole show.
Oh, it is.
And I don't mean it in a negative way or a positive way. I just mean it in a factual way. Talking about the police and what has been going on. I see like testimony on both sides of the coin. I see where the police are afraid to do their jobs. I also see why they have become afraid to do their job. You weren't afraid when you weren't being filmed.
You got it.
Now you're being filmed, so you're afraid. Not necessarily. That uniform represents in certain communities everything that tossed your community into a spiral in the first place.
Yes.
So they don't look at the person behind the uniform. They look at the uniform. They shoot the uniform. They're not shooting the person. Huh?
And the ability to sue and get a check.
Well,
Because
yeah,
they don't even say you violated my rights. They just say I'm suing.
You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on this Vision 1390. And it's your girl Tamara Fair on the air, and I'm proudly posted in the studio with the Brunch Bunch. You know it's Money Monday, and it's always our aim to send you back better than you came. So we were having a conversation about political strategies, and then Gina said, you know what? sometimes people just need to be educated on the levels of politics because they don't know. And that's correct.
Who does what?
Before I started fighting in 2015 for child care restoration, I did not understand it. You think, okay, I'm going to call my alderman because my state check is not in the mail.
Yes.
Well, that's absolutely not a city situation. So that's not a local situation. So the first line of defense in your city is going to be your alder person, alderman, alder broad, alder woman, whatever you want to call it.
Suburbs, you what?
The city that serves.
I said in the suburbs.
Oh, in the suburbs is a trustee.
Yeah, because I had to be. Yeah, I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that one. And I'm saying, no, you call your own, and she says, up in the suburbs, you have to call your trustee.
Absolutely.
And in Mayberry, who do you call?
Barney Fight.
You got it. As long as you know, as long as you know.
And that's really
who knows
important.
all the rules, right?
That's important because in smaller towns, and particularly rural towns, but they're not necessarily just rural towns, you will have a sheriff, and that's who you're calling because your sheriff is the local law. Yes. But then on your state level, if you are getting money from the state and that money is for whatever reason deferred, delayed, whatever, you don't call your alderperson for that. You call your state comptroller or your state rep, which is actually better to call your state rep because they can interface with the state comptroller, see where the bottleneck is, see where the holdup is, and then get your funds released, right? And you also have a state senator that can do there's a House side and then there's a Senate side. So depending on what your issue is, will depend on who you contact. And then you have a congressperson that comes from each state that represents you in Washington, D.C. on the federal level. Yes. And so a lot of people know who Danny Davis is because he is a congressman and he represents Illinois on the federal level. A lot of people know who Robin Kelly is because she does Tammy Duckworth. Those are all U.S. Congress people and senators, U.S. senators that represent Illinoisans in the federal level. It would behoove you to take some time, actually look up who these people are. Yes. And you can look them up by your address and it'll tell you exactly who they are. They have, by law, they have to post their contact information, and they post their contact information to do exactly what it says they need to do. You need to do, and that is contact them. So that's your lesson 101 for local, state, and federal level elected officials. Well, speaking of game changers, a beautiful one just rolled in from L&S Development. We always love to see. What's up, Latricia?
What's up, everybody?
So very quickly, and it doesn't have to be that quick because 6 minutes in radio can really change a life, right?
Yes, it can. It definitely can change your life.
So you know what? I always love to see. We did talk about you in your absence about how we always tell people, make sure you're ready financially for what's to come. You don't know what the political climate is going to bring, but you do know what you can do in order to save yourself and secure yourself. So let's get right to it.
Yes. First of all, I want to say hello, everybody out there. I love and miss you all. It's so wonderful to be back at this place. And I know we're short on time, but I wanted to let you all know at Rocket Mortgage, we have some phenomenal, wonderful programs out here. We have the 1+ program. Again, we will put 2% down. You would need to come to the table with 1%. Oh. Another thing is rent rewards. If they're out here telling you don't qualify for anything, guess what? Everyone qualifies for the rent rewards program. And what that is, whatever you've been paying monthly towards your rent for rent payments, you times that times 12, and we will give you 10% at the closing table towards your down payment and closing costs. So for whatever reasons, if they're saying you don't qualify due to this or that, you qualify.
So everybody that's paying rent qualifies for the rent reward.
Everyone that's paying
rent. And you can take that money and use it for a down payment to move out of a rental situation into a homeowner situation.
Yes. The only thing we will need from you, either a copy of your lease, just showing how much you've been paying. And even if you just started a new lease, we can use that amount. And another thing is we can use is a recent bank statement showing whatever you paid towards your landlord or management company. We can use that amount towards your down payment and closing costs as well.
Wow. And so a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's no inventory. Let's just dispel that misnomer.
Well, I've been having closing, so it's definitely inventory out here. Again, you got to stop stalling, stop coming up with excuses. Just get in the game.
So these are some really exciting programs. So the 1+ program is
Mhm.
1% down. So let's just say you had to bring 3% to the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this when this 1+ program, you only had to bring 1%.
No.
I mean 2%.
2% plus whatever your closing costs are.
Plus
So
closing
2%,
costs.
yes, whatever your closing. And then we have another program, the 1-0 buy down. Everyone qualifies for this as well. Unfortunately, a lot of people ask, can we do both of them? No, it's either or. So the 1-0 buy down is if we lock in your rate at let's say 6.99% for the first year, we buy it down to 5.99%, and your payment will be based off of 5.99%. Yes.
People don't really realize how much they pay in interest,
Yes.
because a lot of people don't go into their mortgage portals and
Mhm.
see, because
Mhm.
if you have a reputable, I'm sure it's reputable if they gave you money,
Mhm.
but if you have one that has a robust portal,
Mhm.
and you
Yes.
can go in and you'll see what you're paying in interest and what you're
Mhm.
paying in principal.
Yes.
Your interest is coming off the top.
Right.
Yes.
And it depends on what your mortgage amount is, you know. So it's people that we've saved $5,000 for the total year based off of that program. It's some people that we've saved $10,000 a month. I'm sorry, for the total year.
For the per annum,
in
right?
total based off that program. So again, we have the 1+ program, we have the rent rewards program, and again, this last program, which is
The buy
the
one.
the 1-0 buy down. Lender paid. We buy this rate down for you for 1 full year, and after that, your rate is fixed to whatever you locked it in at. Right after that.
Oh, that's awesome. So you know what? If you were to be able to save by this 1-0 buy down, say $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
if you had the mindset to defer even using that money, just put it
Mhm.
somewhere, like they say,
Yes.
set it and forget it.
Mm-hmm.
You got $10,000 now. You can put on another piece of property.
Yes. I mean, it's just about getting in the game. So there's a lot of Rocket Mortgages. We're very serious about getting everybody. Again, we want to help everybody home. So these programs are just things that we came up to help everybody home. And whatever, if we have something out there for you, and you.
Okay, Oprah, you better come on.
Just give us a call at 773-616-0906.
Say it again.
773-616-0906.
So that's 773-616-0906. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. You know what? I think we did our job today, Latricia and
Yes, we
Gina.
did. Yes,
We set out to level you up, and you got a ton of resources. We'll have them all on our socials. And you know what? It's always our aim to send you back better than you came. So we always want to encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know, a perfect stranger, that you love them, and show someone that you do know how much you love them. Lead with love, land on love. I love you guys in this studio.
I
love
love
you,
you
Shannon.
all.
Believers, we love you.
love
Baby
you.
Eminem, we love you too. Up next, we do it all night long right here on Inspiration 1390. We'll see you tomorrow on the Brunch Bunch. Same time for the Power Hour. Peace and stay optimistic.
All right, Jabari Lamar, I love
All
you. I
right,
can't wait to see
y'all.
you tonight.
I will see you tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Jabari Butt.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate you. Love the fact that you all are actually using the services that we are giving to you, disseminating critical information, not just for information's sake, but so that you can use it. You know to call Shirley and Latricia. Tell them the number again. 773-616-0906. 773-616-0906. Now, let me ask you something, Latricia. Are you only licensed to do mortgages in Illinois or
in Indiana?
And Illinois and Indiana. All right, so if you want a hand-holding sister to walk you through this process that can be arduous, if this is your first time, or if you had a bad experience the last time, that's who you want to call, y'all. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
To do it. So one of the best things you could ever do is surround yourself with people
Bye,
who
Tina.
have courage.
Yeah.
It's time to get